Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt
And
Roast.
I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
And here we are with a brand new edition of Big Brother 27 live feed spoilers.
Thank you so much to everyone, for understanding that we weren't here yesterday with our live feed update.
Mhm.
My son was really sick and he threw up all over me. So I
Yeah.
feel like I am now part of the Moms Club. I have been initiated. He's feeling much better today.
You're never quite there until you feel just the full surge of vomit apparently coming upon you.
All down my back. So great.
Yeah, it's a great mental image to start up this update because, metaphorically, there may be times where you want to vomit watching some of these people on the Big Brother feeds because we have been on the carousel of bad gameplay with a lot of these players for a long time now. And it feels like we are getting to that point where we have bbeen spinning around 100 times. Maybe we're questioning if everything we ate for lunch is about to come back up.
It could.
It's just like, okay, let's just vent for, we're all friends here, right? It's
Right.
just like there are a lot of people this season who I really like. We've made our love for Keanu no secret. We've made our love for Rachel no secret. I have gotten to the point where it's just like, I'm sick of Riley. I'm sick of Catherine. Anytime I see a conversation with Morgan and Mickey that lasts longer than 2 minutes, like I am almost just completely out the door.
Yeah, I'm really over all of them. I'm really over Mickey treating people like really terribly and being really rude to people and like that birthday thing, the prayer thing, the ramen thing. Like it's all just getting and feeling just I don't know. The way she's acting towards people, it just feels like Mean Girl.
It feels like her brain broke when she won HOH because like I keep thinking back to before her HOH reign and it's like a lot of people liked Mickey. It felt
Me
like,
too.
yeah, I'm not saying she was like number one at the top of everyone's popularity polls, but I liked her all right. Like I
Mhm.
felt like she had some potential and
Yeah.
it's just she has managed to tank her game in completely unfathomable ways over just like the last week and a half where I'm sitting here and I'm being like, I feel like a good percentage of the house, even if they don't target her, would nominate her at least if they won HOH after all of this.
If she doesn't win HOH, she is in trouble, and I couldn't be happier about it. She is
Yeah.
just treating people poorly.
Well, we're going to try to give a lot of examples of this because, boy, do we have receipts on all of that.
Yep.
Also, we will discuss further why it is more than okay to openly root for Zach's eviction at this point in the week. But before we get into anything more with that, be sure to hit that subscribe button because, yes, we are still here with all sorts of Big Brother 27 live feed updates. I'm
Mhm.
really hoping we have some fun, exciting stuff coming over the next couple weeks. Maybe we're going to have the wall comp that Morgan has talked about 2,000 times.
Absolutely. And we have Alien Earth that is premiering tonight. We are going to have our review up tomorrow.
Mhm.
But going forward after that, we will have it up on Tuesday nights as well. We're
Mhm.
really excited. I'm a huge Alien franchise fan. I cannot wait for this show. So hopefully you guys are going to be interested in that as well. And you'll be able to check that out. And if
Yeah.
you want more Big Brother discussions, you can head over to our Patreon and chat with us further there. It's a great way to be able to support us. And thank you so much to everyone who has joined. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we do. Thank you guys so much for your support all season long. And without further ado, let's get into Exhibit A of Mickey's mini problems in the game right now
Oh
and
boy.
the Mickey Morgan fight that has been days in the making. Like, this all really stems back to when Mickey was HOH and we sort of saw that Morgan was up there with her all the time. They
Yeah.
were so close, but in the
Yeah.
days that followed, Morgan has now resumed some of her prior behavior, which includes spending the vast majority of her time with Zach and Vince. And then
Mhm.
Mickey is now like, hey, I'm still here. Like, what's going on with all of this?
Listen, Mickey, I hate to be the person to tell you this, but this happens to a lot of people with HOHs.
Yeah.
It's just the way that it is. You're in power. People want to talk to you. This is where you get to get information and figure people out. Are people really with you? They're not with you. And yeah, of course, Morgan's up there being like, hey, and now that you're not the HOH, then it's over. It's the way that it is.
I is just so irritated by just everything that has been going on the past few days where it felt like we were building to something, we were building to something. Is it going to get somewhere? And then, like, finally, It does, and I mean, it's a little bit of a sigh of relief to have these two actually trying to hash this out because
Yep.
it has been so ongoing. But really, the catalyst for what was an intense argument today, I'm not going to say this was the same level as like the Rachel shouting at Morgan not that long ago, but Mickey had heard that Morgan had told Keanu something important previously, and
Mhm.
that was that Rachel, Ashley, and Mickey, that they seemingly were all in cahoots on Ava's HOH, that
Right.
they intentionally wanted to take Morgan away from Vince and Zach and bring her back to the women. I'm saying it like this because this feels like a tinfoil hat special. This feels like something
Yes.
that we would say slightly in jest as opposed to reality.
Yeah, because it's not reality.
Yeah, it's Ava made the HOH decisions based on I know what she said on what we talked about in the past
Yep.
about like who was disappointed in her winning or whatever,
Right.
but it's really just like the people who she felt weren't working with her. Like
Right.
this doesn't have a lot to do with Morgan, but the problem here is that Morgan is the main character of this season according to Morgan. She is the protagonist, the heroine. She feels like she should be in every single minute of every single scene.
The world revolves around Morgan.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this now. Watching Morgan this week with her two great friends in the house that I must spend every minute, it reminds me of, well, this is really, everybody knows I'm a nerd already, but this is
Yes,
basically
we are.
the final part of the Lord of the Rings trilogy where Frodo is bringing the ring to the Mount Doom, and he's like,
Yep.
just like, I don't know if I can do it, Sam. I don't know. And it's just like, I just like, Morgan, throw the one ring into the fire.
Right.
It's just, she is acting like this is the greatest burden she has ever been faced with. She's not even on the block. There's no guarantee one of these two are even going home. It's just like she is so over the top.
Yeah, and it's so weird too because for as close as she is with them, she should know that Vince can take care of himself.
Yes.
And he has been taking care of himself. And he's very unlikely going anywhere because he has been taking care of himself.
Yeah. And as we have also said in the past, you know who would be more than fine with Morgan going if it ensured his own safety? Vince. Like, it's just the
Yeah.
irony is so delicious in all of this. So Morgan and Mickey have their back and forth about what Mickey has heard here. And as all Morgan arguments go, she kind of just like shrinks down. She talks
Mhm.
in circles. She just kind of rambles on and just like talks in this really soft voice. And eventually Mickey just gets frustrated and leaves. And then we jump forward a little bit in time. They reconvene, and now Keanu somehow gets roped in to all of this. And Keanu, who's still wearing his butler outfit with the occasionally gigantic butt, like he's just standing there being like, why am I here? And
Yes.
they just start throwing things at him. And then Keanu, like we've talked about this previously, typically Keanu, for 2 hours a week, he clocks in and he becomes a good Big Brother player.
Yes.
In the past, it has been after he has won a veto. Keanu did not win a veto this week, so
No.
he clocked in a little bit late, but he went to work. He just completely clocked both Morgan and Mickey in this conversation while they're throwing things at him. He's going back and he's just like, well, Morgan, you're trying to control Mickey's vote. Morgan, you're
Yes.
also campaigning against me. Like
Yes.
he knows that Morgan previously talked to him, and she was just basically like, once again, main character syndrome. Keanu, I hope you understand. Me, I can never go against my friends. It's not against you. And I think he would have been fine if that was really the case. But there's a difference being like, I don't want to go against my friends versus I'm actively campaigning to try to get you out of the house.
Yeah, there's definitely different ways that you can campaign in this game, and it is either running the bus over the other person or it's really campaigning for yourself. What can you bring to somebody? And that is not what Morgan is doing. She is just running the bus over, handing Keanu the bus schedule.
It felt like in the matter of 30 seconds, Keanu came very close to calling Morgan a narcissist and calling Mickey a puppet. And I didn't
Let's go, Keanu!
I love this man so much. He's our messy king. He's still not good at the game, but when
No, but I just love him.
I love him too. It's just like everything about Keanu is just great. For the way he goes about things, to the sudden loyalty he occasionally has with Rachel.
I also really like that he's taking his punishment like with a big smile and like having fun with it. Those are the best punishments, are the people that are like, I'm going all in on it.
He ripped his pants
I
earlier.
know. I saw. It was just, I just really like that. His attitude is great.
It reminded me of when Paul had a punishment and Paul had to go around and be security director for everyone else. And Paul was so game for it. It was so easy to root for Paul. And Paul's polarizing, I know, but I love it when house guests get fully into this. Keanu's had a pretty great time. I laughed hysterically the whole time. He's just putting Mickey and Morgan in their place, even though he's on the block, and even though he probably should have a little bit more of a depth touch in this.
Yeah, he should, but at the same time, is it really Mickey and Morgan that are gonna come and give him the votes? I mean,
No,
he may already just be like, this one's lost.
I just also love that as soon as this conversation is over, Keanu just took off and immediately reported everything to Rachel. It,
It's so nice that this relationship is somewhat coming around.
it's somewhat coming around. I think this is the best way to describe it, and you've even said this here on the channel before, and I think
Brother and sister.
Yeah,
That's what it feels like.
they are. Like, I think they genuinely love each other as people. They just
Yeah.
can't get on the same page game wise
Yeah.
all of the time. But so Keanu leaves this discussion, and then Mickey starts going in on Morgan again and starts claiming that she's obsessed with Zach and Vince, and that the moment she stopped being HOH, you don't care about me at all.
That's right. Bye.
And then Morgan tries to counter, and she's just basically like, well, one of them is going to leave. And Morgan does this whole spiel where she acts as though either Zach or Vince is going to die the moment they leave the Big Brother house,
Right.
and she's never going to talk to them again.
Yeah, that they're just gonna go up and smoke.
And then Mickey's response to this is just like, well, Morgan, it's your own fault that they're nominated because you guys all stayed up too late together, talking and talking. You guys all made targets on yourself, so it's your own fault that it happened.
Yeah, sure.
And then Morgan eventually claimed that, okay, you know what though, Mickey? Because at the end of this, after they go back and forth, she's trying to go back and smooth everything over again. It's just like, Mickey, that I wouldn't choose Zach or Vince over you. It's you and me, which is just like the most obvious lie ever.
Yeah, she's really bad when it comes to trying to convince people of those types of lies. Because she tried something like that with Rachel too.
Yeah.
And Rachel saw through it as well.
Yeah, it's so weird to say that Morgan at this point may actually be more delusional than Keanu, because Keanu is in the running for the most delusional Big Brother player I've ever seen. But
More than Devin?
okay, he and Devin they're in a competition with each other.
No, because Keanu does have 2 hours where he is a
Okay,
good
that's
player
true.
and Devin has 0.
Devin also woke people up in the middle of the night to kick them out of an
That's
alliance.
right.
So okay, you're correct. You're correct. I
Yeah,
apologize,
no.
Keanu. All right. Now we're gonna go through just a laundry list of reasons why Mickey has done a terrible job over the past little while here. And
Yeah.
and not all of this is even game. A lot of it just feels very personal. And it's
Yes.
just like, why make people feel bad about themselves? Why alienate people? Like, the only thing that she said that I kind of agreed with was she went at Riley for yelling at Catherine, and Riley, when he raises his voice, he gets really uncomfortable. So it's like, okay, you know what? I'll give you that one, Mickey.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't raise your voice at people. It's not nice. You don't need
No.
to do it.
But telling Ashley she needs to talk less, like,
So rude. Oh my goodness. I
Yes.
don't understand.
like, for one, Ashley, talk all you want, because
All you want.
I also love you. I find you incredibly entertaining, even if
Yes.
you're also not great at the game.
Yes.
But she also goes at Keanu, and it's just like, Keanu, I don't see Vince as that much of a threat. So why are you demeaning Keanu's chances to his face?
Yeah.
She also, and this is the one that I think has gone the most viral because Brendan has responded to it, that she wants to embarrass Rachel in front of her whole family.
I don't know why she needs to make it so personal
Yeah.
and to do something like that in front of Rachel's family or children. Like, it's just mean. Like, the behavior's just mean. Even the whole ramen thing, the birthday thing, like the prayer circle thing. I want to embarrass you in front of your family.
Yeah.
For what? For what reason? You're going to take it outside the game? Stop it.
Okay, it's just like, I don't understand Mickey's social game at this point. It makes no sense. It's not fun TV in the sort of way that we've seen villains in the past sort of be mustache twirly and plot and scheme. I know that's old school Big Brother. A lot of worse
Yep.
things have been said on this show over the years.
Absolutely. For me, if it's in the game, it's in the game. This is a social experiment. It is about having different walks of life all together in the house and how does that all work out. But the minute, for me, when anybody is taking this outside of the game to be like, oh, I'm going to embarrass you in front of your children and your
Yes.
husband, it's just so nasty that it's not about the game anymore. Now you're taking it into personal life. Keep it in the game. You're going to take it out of the game. Now I just truly don't want anything to do with you anymore.
Mickey's downfall is going to be great because she's not going to win. I think she's going to be very upset when she goes on the block. And we've had hashtag eviction parties in the past. I kind of feel
Mhm.
like the Mickey eviction party is going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, it'll be lit.
All right, so now we're going to transition more into Keanu sort of stepping in it a little bit here, which makes me a little sad, but I'm going to have a little story time to lead up to this because, as some of you know, I'm mostly a child of the 90s. I was born in
Mhm.
'86, but most of my memories are of the early 90s. And I grew up in Dallas. And, Keanu, you are living in the Dallas Fort Worth area
Mhm.
right now. So who knows if you'd understand this reference. But there was this football player who played for the Cowboys named Leon Lett. And he's mostly famous for one thing: picking up a fumble, running to the end zone, celebrating like 5 yards before the end zone. Someone comes and smacks the ball out of his hand. And it's the most embarrassing. It's like you almost had a touchdown, and you're one of those like big old defense dudes who never score any touchdowns. And
Yeah.
it's like you ruined this for yourself. Keanu and Zach, they're both very much flirting with Leon letting their situation in the house here
Yeah.
because Keanu, it felt like there was a brief period of time where he might actually be able to stay over Vince, which I never would have imagined at one
Mhm.
point.
Yeah.
But then he does things like this. So last night, Rachel told him about the Heavy Hitters Alliance, which we all know has not really actually been that relevant in the present game for a little while.
No, it hasn't.
But first of all, Rachel, I love you, but you shouldn't have told Keanu this. It's like you can
No.
trust Keanu to a certain extent.
Yeah.
You can like Keanu. You can't give Keanu any pertinent game information he can tell other people.
No, and she should know this by now. They've gotten
Yes.
into so many fights about this. Like, I don't know what is going on.
Yeah, so Rachel made a mistake here, and
Yes.
then Keanu makes an even bigger mistake where he's just like, okay, I'm going to go relay this information to Vince, who, alongside Rachel, was also in the Heavy Hitters. Rachel's here in this conversation with Keanu, trying to like distance herself from the whole alliance, but Keanu goes and relays this to Vince, who's never completely had Keanu's best interest at heart here.
No.
Like, I think Rachel cares more about Keanu than Vince does, but this has always been Keanu's biggest downfall in this game. He's trusting Vince, and in this instance, somebody who is on the block alongside you and
Yep.
is actively looking for reasons to throw you under the bus.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just, I understand that he feels that he is working with Vince or close to Vince.
Yeah.
Vince may not feel the same way about it,
Yeah.
but they are on the block together. And it just feels like Keanu is just not really taking that into consideration.
No, he keeps thinking that he and Vince are some sort of team in a weird
Yes.
kind of way, which I never understand. It's like we've talked about him maybe throwing the veto for Vince, or he's talked about maybe throwing the blockbuster for Vince. And
Yep.
like, luckily during his 2 good hours today, I did not hear Keanu say anything of the sort.
It's Vince. Vince is so good at making people like feel good about themselves, heard, just, listen to. And for Keanu, I understand it too, because he has been sort of stuck in this position for most of the game where people are mad at him all the
Yeah.
time and they don't want to hang out with him and they're not talking to him and they're not close to him. And then in comes Vince all the time being
Yeah.
like, hey, how's it going? Let's talk, let's chat. It'll all be okay. He's very friendly with everybody.
Yeah.
And when you're in that kind of situation where you feel isolated or you don't feel like you have a connection, nobody's listening to you, you have somebody who's very good at listening and marrying you, then it's game over.
Yeah. So Vince gleefully gets this information and then later tells Mickey about it. And, Mickey then goes, spreads the information to Will. Everybody's downplaying everything when it comes to all of this. But it felt to me like there was at least maybe a chance here with Mickey because Mickey and Morgan have been at odds to the point where
Mhm.
it felt like Mickey may just not want to do what Morgan wants to do almost out of spite. But now it's in this position where Mickey's realizing, oh, Rachel is off telling people things about various elements of the game. So she's even more mad at Rachel now. And she was mad enough already about the whole Jimmy situation where, Rachel's actively trying to save Jimmy on this past HOH cycle.
Yeah.
So Now, Mickey's like super mad at Rachel, also mad at Keanu, who she's now claiming is obsessed with Rachel and being creepy about the amount of time that Keanu has spent with Rachel.
Like, come on.
Yeah,
No, Keanu is not creepy. They do have this back and forth relationship that feels like brother and sister.
yes,
It is on both sides that they are coming to each other and shit. I'm so mad at Mickey and the way that she is talking about people
yeah,
and to people. It's so frustrating to watch. This
yeah.
whole video is so frustrating to talk about because she has done so many things in the past like 24 hours are just driving me out of my mind because she's just so rude to people.
It's just so many unforced errors. Nobody was telling her she had to be nasty to people. It's like she wasn't in danger. She doesn't have to do any of this. It's like, Morgan, you don't have to spend 200 hours a day campaigning for these other two people when you're not
No.
on the block. It's just continuously frustrating. I mean, good on you for Keanu continuing to stand up for himself in
Yes.
these situations. I think he knows who he is. I mean, I'll also say this. Keanu, I think he's still trying to find a way to get Mickey back. Like, I don't think he has completely given up on that. And I appreciate in general the amount of effort that Keanu has put in to this campaign. Like, he's not always good at it, and a lot of times he's clueless, but it's the same thing he always has been. Like, he tries, and I'm never gonna
Mhm.
be mad at someone who tries, even if he doesn't know what's going on.
100%, I agree. I want people that are in this game that want to play, whether they're good, medium, or bad at this
Yeah.
game, that want to play and are playing, and
Yeah.
he is.
Well, before we get too much into like the specific vote scenarios here, like
Mhm.
let's talk briefly about where Riley and Catherine stand on all this
Right.
because they have been very, very important in what's going to happen. They have said today that they're keeping Vince no matter what. Now,
Yeah, and I mean that makes sense. Like
yeah,
they have in the past like couple days or whatever been like, "Oh, we're not sure whatever," but they've been working with Vince somewhat throughout this whole season already. So, I mean, and Vince, my guy Vince, he's just been out here really working them.
yeah, it's one of these situations where if Vince wasn't on the block and we had a few players on the block that were all kind of even strategically,
Mhm.
I could see Catherine and Riley flip flopping like five more times before the eviction. But I think the fact that Vince is so much better strategically than either Zach or
Right.
Keanu, like, I just have a hard time believing that they're going to flip on it at this point, especially because, like, this is even an argument Catherine made back before she didn't use the veto, where she
Mhm.
was just sort of like, why am I going to go out of my way to help somebody who is just starting to talk with me strategically now? And she
Mhm.
said that about Zach at that point. And Vince, he's just so good at occasionally having these check-ins, and I think it
Yeah.
also helps him to a certain extent that everybody kind of knows that he's after Rachel. And that's the thing where it's like, okay, he's probably not after me, he's after Rachel. There's no real fault in me wanting to keep him.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like not everybody is talking game with Catherine and Riley. They're kind of on an island here.
Yeah.
So Vince is making the right decision in spending time with them, having those
Yeah.
check-ins and chatting with them, and nobody else is really doing that.
Okay, I think I might have finally just right now come to a revelation as to
Mm,
why Mickey inexplicably gets along with Riley as well as she
mhm,
does.
mhm.
They both just really enjoy being negative and talking smack about people because, like, this is why Riley is hard to read. He just complains about everybody all day, other than maybe Catherine.
Yeah.
Like, he's complained about, oh, Zach's flirting with too many people. I don't like Zach. Oh, Keanu's talking too much. Oh, Morgan's talking about wanting to win all the time. It's just like, yeah, I get it. People are annoying Riley. You know
Yeah.
who's also annoying? You a lot of the time, Riley. All right. Here is where things stand when it comes to the vote at this point.
Okay.
It's Zach versus Vince. I
Yeah.
think it's pretty clear. Zach's going pretty easily in
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
situation.
he is.
Zach versus Keanu, I think Zach likely goes. I wouldn't permanent marker it, but I think that's Keanu's best chance at this point.
It is.
Now, if it's Vince versus Keanu, I think Vince likely stays. Like we talked about Mickey, we talked about Catherine, Riley. I mean, he's also got Lauren, who has already said she would vote to keep Vince over Zach, which,
Mhm.
would be a surprise were it not for the fact that Vince has put in way more strategic effort there.
Yep.
And, got Morgan, he's got Mickey. He doesn't even without considering Kelly, who I think is pretty pro Vince. Like it feels
Yeah.
like Vince has got those numbers.
Yeah, he's got those numbers and we'll lose Keanu. So, I mean, like, let's not have that
No.
happen.
And with all that, it's time. Zach, you need to be evicted from the game. I'm ready.
Yeah, you know what? I get why you felt like, yeah, I don't need to use this power, but if you're on the block, you should be using the power. You don't know for sure that you have the votes. Like you can feel like people like you, but that doesn't mean they're going to vote for you. This is a game.
I am so upset about Zach not using this power. We haven't talked too much about this yet. It's just like I understand that I said that if I was in Zach's position, I would probably keep the money. But there's a reason for this. I would keep the money because that money would mean a lot to me. You know, I would take on and do a lot of things with that 10,000. If Zach would come on the feeds and was like, you know, oh, I had $10,000. It's better than not having $10,000. Maybe I'd be a little bit more sympathetic. But one, he hasn't said that. And two, I'm furious that this guy deprived us of a Morgan crash out when she got nominated that would have been so incredibly entertaining.
That's all right. We are going to hold on to that for maybe next week.
It's just like, Zach, for that very reason, I'm out, to quote Shark Tank here, where it's just like you made this move that seems completely insane to me, that you had an ability to guarantee your safety. You decided you did not want to do this, and you know
so you're gonna go home with an idol in your pocket.
Yeah, and you should go home because it's ridiculous. You just let this happen. You should be treated as a Marcellus, and nobody is ever gonna feel bad about it. But it's just like, okay, like last night, his first justification for not using this power was that, oh, you know, Morgan, I didn't want you to go up. I didn't want you to be in danger. I'm gonna put on tinfoil hat here for this.
Yeah.
I don't believe you, Zach.
Oh, of course. There's no tin. I'm taking my tinfoil hat over that. Of course. That is not what he was really meaning. He's just trying to get some votes.
Yeah, it just felt like, it really does feel like, and he said this more today, that he thought at the time he had more votes lined up for him, and he's realizing now he's in more danger. I think he got clued in yesterday. Okay, you know what? I'm in some more danger. I know that if there's one thing Morgan really loves in this game is making herself feel very, very special. So if I tell her this, if I spend a lot of time with her, then she's going to want to work overtime in order to save me.
Yeah, and it's a good move.
It's a good move, and it might work. I think the thing that's really hard with Morgan is that Morgan, you know, she's told him, number one, he should have played it, you know, backs Morgan, I will give you that. But she's also, of course, doing this whole, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is the hardest decision that I have ever been faced with in my, and she is milking this vote decision like no tomorrow, even after Zach has told her this.
Yep.
Zach's biggest problem, and I think the reason why he's probably going to go no matter what this week, he is interpreting that his social game is kind of all he needs to do, that just be friendly with people or flirt with a lot of the women, Lauren, Ashley, Morgan, that like, all of this stuff is going to be enough, as opposed to saying things kind of like, what scenario is most beneficial for your long-term game? Or how can we work together to ensure that, you know, X, Y, or Z happen?
Yeah, social game is very important. Obviously, it's how you get your jury votes later, and it's how you get votes in these types of situations. However, you do at this point, while you're on the block, have to offer something else strategically, like we'll be number ones, or, you know, if I'm HOH next week, I promise you won't go up. Like there needs to be some sort of an offer, something that will help.
Yeah, and I
you
think
can't just be like, hi.
It's like watering plants, and we're both plant people. We both have plants here. It's just like, if you get a plant, you have to take care of it. You have to water it, nurture it. And I think Zach has just gotten by for a while on, he's got his little core group of allies. He doesn't really have that much outside of that, and he hasn't put the time in, whereas your guy Vince, he's out here with the hose, with the water spout, even in his silly egg costume. Like, he is doing it.
Yeah, that's the problem that I think Zach hasn't really paid attention to, is that his allies and his votes are also Vince's allies and votes,
Yeah.
and they are both on the block. So, he's just not looking at it that way of like, okay, well, if we're both here, why am I getting these votes over Vince?
It's really, really true. And I know that Vince has been your guy more this season than he has been mine, but
Yeah, I love Vince.
I am getting more and more on board Vince. Where I just well, listen,
Hey, welcome.
he's the best player this season in the house. I'm gonna put it.
He is, but we do have to look at the other players in the house.
It's true. It's true. It's like I know Rachel is good at some things. I know Ava's at least in a decent spot now that everybody seems to be talking about other people.
Yeah.
Like the biggest thing that Vince has going against him is Rachel coming after him, but just this idea that we're sitting here on Tuesday night and it doesn't feel like he's going in any scenario despite him being the obvious threat of the three people who are on the block.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's really, really impressive. So
And it's a tip of the hat to his game. He really has done a really good job. And I think just besides talking strategically, it's what you said. It is the little check-ins afterwards, before, during, all the time. He's always talking to people and making people feel like they're heard.
Yeah, even people like Kelly, who's had reasons to not like Vince before, he still has nurtured that relationship. Like they talk for a long time, even today. But all right, before we wrap this up, a couple little odds in here. Like number one, last night it seems like Kelly is starting to become roped into this Keanu and Rachel alliance. And given that Rachel has Ashley and she kind of has Ava, well, Rachel just needs some more people she can consistently rely on here.
It's so weird to be watching Rachel playing this game and her allies are Keanu and like Ashley and Kelly, like easily the worst players in this game.
I know. She's just like the shepherd of messy players at this point. She's just like bringing them all in. And oddly, I'm just kind of here for it because Kelly is growing on me every single week.
Listen, it could really work. If any of them can ever win any HOHs and Rachel can get in their ears about it, she can get out that other side.
Okay, and the last thing I want to say here, this is just something that warmed my heart because once again, child of the 90s here. There was this conversation that happened earlier this afternoon. It was just Rachel, Keanu, and Vince, and they were talking about old school video games. Like there was some Mario Kart brought in. Keanu's in here bringing up Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, which is one of my 10 favorite video games of all time. It's like, I didn't know I could love you enough, Keanu. But just like listening to the three of them just like completely nerd out, it really made me sad because I was just sitting back and being like, if Vince, Rachel, and Keanu ever combine their powers, like I think they would actually steamroll this entire game.
Yeah.
Like they're all so good. And I'm just like, Vince, Rachel, why can't you guys just work it out? Like, I love both of you, and it's so weird to like two people who are actively going at each other like this.
I know. I mean, it would work out better for Rachel. Vince is still in a good spot.
Vince is in a good spot. Vince is in a really good spot. Yeah, no matter what. I'm really fascinated to see if anything changes over the next 24 hours. I mean, the Hamster Watch Coined Waffle Wednesday is right around the corner.
Yes, Hamster Watch, shout out.
Maybe we will
love you.
We do love you. Maybe we will have some like international House of Pancakes level waffling in here. I just don't know when you got as good a player as Vince, but let's turn it over to you guys. What do you think is going to happen? Who do you want to see stay? And also just what are your goodbye words for Zach? Because we all need some goodbye words for Zach. You played yourself, you did something dumb, and goodbye.
Yeah, my goodbye words are you should have used your power.
That's really, really it. It's just like, you should have used the power. And it is honestly just shameful, the idea that Lauren wants to keep Vince over you at this point.
I'm not surprised. I would rather keep Vince as well. I mean, Vince is the better player. I would rather have a better player with me to help me get further. It's the right move.
All right. Well, that's what we got, everybody. But be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, as always. And as Jess said, Alien Earth is premiering tonight. We are so excited to discuss this tomorrow. Hope you guys are around for it. And if you want to support us further, join our Patreon. We have a link in the description over there. We're covering Countdown exclusively in video form. Thank you so much. We'll see you here next time.